Recent scientific research has brought important clarity to one of the strongest genetic links to Alzheimer's disease. People who inherit 2 copies of the APOE4 gene variant, often called APOE4 homozygotes, account for approximately 2% of the general population. For this group, Alzheimer's disease pathology develops in a highly predictable way, often beginning as early as age 55. A landmark 2024 study published in Nature Medicine analyzed large datasets including biomarkers and brain tissue. The findings were striking. Individuals with 2 copies of APOE4 show near-complete penetrance for Alzheimer's biology. Starting from around age 55, nearly all of these individuals begin to accumulate amyloid plaques and show elevated Alzheimer's biomarkers in the brain and cerebrospinal fluid. By age 65, almost 100% have abnormal beta amyloid levels detectable in spinal fluid, and roughly 75% already show positive amyloid on brain PET scans. The progression follows a consistent, ordered sequence, very similar to the rare, fully inherited forms of Alzheimer's, caused by mutations in genes like PSN1, or to the Alzheimer's seen in people with Down syndrome. On the clinical side, the first noticeable symptoms typically emerge around age 65 on average, about 7 to 10 years earlier than in people with no APOE4 or other genotypes. Mild cognitive impairment is usually detected around age 72, and a formal diagnosis of dementia tends to occur around age 74. What makes this group unique is the tighter predictability of both biological changes and symptom onset compared to typical late-onset Alzheimer's. While the underlying brain pathology is nearly inevitable, the exact timing of cognitive symptoms can still vary somewhat due to lifestyle, vascular health, sex differences, and other genetic factors. This research is changing how scientists view APOE4 homozygosity. Instead of simply calling it a risk factor, many experts now classify 2 copies of APOE4 as a distinct genetic form of Alzheimer's disease. For comparison, about 20 to 25% of people carry just 1 copy of APOE4. This single copy roughly doubles to quadruples the risk of Alzheimer's. But the majority of these individuals never develop the disease. Only those with 2 copies show this very high, predictable biological trajectory. These findings have practical implications. They support earlier and more targeted monitoring using blood tests, spinal fluid analysis, or brain imaging for people who know they carry 2 APOE4 copies. It also means this group could particularly benefit from emerging anti-amyloid therapies and future prevention trials specifically designed for genetically high-risk individuals. Importantly, even with strong genetic predisposition, modifiable lifestyle factors still matter. Regular physical exercise, a heart-healthy Mediterranean-style diet, quality sleep, cognitive stimulation, social engagement, and strict control of blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes can help slow progression or potentially delay symptom onset. In summary, for the approximately 2% of people with 2 APOE4 copies, Alzheimer's-related brain changes begin predictably from around age 55, with clinical symptoms following several years later in a more consistent pattern than in the general population. This discovery highlights the importance of genetic awareness. If you have a family history of Alzheimer's or are considering genetic testing, speak with a neurologist or genetic counselor. Knowledge can empower better prevention and timely intervention. Thank you for watching. Prioritizing brain health at every age makes a real difference. Subscribe Project Health MD.